Welcome to the ManureWorks software program demonstration. Manure application record keeping made easy. ManureWorks software was designed to be used by livestock producers that need to keep track of manure application information. This program will work best if the producer has a TSP or environmental consultant assisting them with their regulatory needs. In most cases, it will be the producer's consultant working with the ManureWorks software staff during the setup phase, entering all of the producer's information. If your consultant is not already using ManureWorks, please ask them to contact us. Upon subscribing to the ManureWorks program, the user will be given a username and password. When the user enters their username and password, the user will be able to log into the ManureWorks application program from any computer that can access the internet and is then able to use the software. No software needs to be downloaded or installed to use ManureWorks. The entire program operates via the internet. Upon logging in, the user will see two categories, sites and fields. Under the Sites tab is where all of the sites the user has in the program will be stored. In this particular example, the producer has a cattle farm and a sow farm. When we select the cattle farm, we are given the site address, DNR ID number, and the annual compliance due date. We also notice that for every manure source that the cattle farm has, there is a select button. When we select the Hoop Building tab, we can see that there are several manure analyses taken for that particular manure source. And we also see that we have a maximum application rate by year and by crop rotation. When we select the printer icon, ManureWorks generates a report of all the manure analysis. As you can see in this report, ManureWorks keeps a yearly average of the manure analysis as well as a 5-year rolling average for use in establishing manure application rates. When we select the Fields tab, under the Fields tab, we have all of the fields that are available for manure application from the producer's manure sources. In this particular example, the producer decides to spread manure on the Groves farm. We'll click on the Select for the Groves farm. The field information comes up. The field name, the FSA number, the track number, and the AccuWeather tracking ID for weather data input. The acres in the field, the last soil analysis, and if you look above the map, we can see ManureWorks keeps track of when the next soil analysis is due. In this particular case, the next soil analysis is due 11/9 of 2011. We can also see for this particular field, the Groves field, that there are two sites that can use the field for manure application, Mike's Sow Farm and the Cattle Farm. Below the site names, we have the crop rotation for this particular farm. We can see this particular rotation is a corn-bean rotation. In this example, we are going to be spreading manure the fall of 2009 for the crop year of 2010. The corn crop of 2010 will utilize the manure, so we will select the corn crop year of 2010. This brings up a field data page. This can be used by the producer to keep track of crop information, the planting date with the Easy Pick calendar system, the planting population, the yield, the moisture, and the test weight. These inputs are optional and do not necessarily need to be filled in for regulatory purposes at this time. We are now ready to input our manure application event. We will select the Click Here to add a new manure application record. We will then have to choose where the manure for this application will come from. First, we'll have to choose the site. For this example, we will pick Mike's Sow Farm. Then we will choose the manure source from Mike's Sow Farm. For this example, we are choosing the acclimation building. This brings up the ManureWorks interactive mapping page. You can see we have selected Mike's Sow Farm, and the manure source will be the acclimation building from the sow farm. We can see that the manure maximum application rate is 3,600 gallons per acre. You are then given the choice of who will be applying the manure. These choices have been added in the setup phase. In this example, we are going to select Johnson Custom Ag. In this example, the manure was applied October 31st, 2009. There was not a stockpile destination as the manure was hauled directly to the field. We did not use a drag line. ManureWorks is able to calculate maximum amount of manure in two ways. It will count loads, knowing the capacity of each load for a total manure volume, or you can enter the total volume of actual application amount. Either way, ManureWorks will record the amount of manure applied. For this particular example, we have applied 200,000 gallons of liquid hog manure from the acclimation building. The manure was incorporated into the field the same day as application. The soil condition was damp, and we followed our standard setbacks in the field. We are now ready to use the interactive map to select where we have applied manure. ManureWorks software has two ways of recording the application area. The first is if you had spread the entire field, you can scroll to the bottom of the map and select the Spread Entire Field tab. After selecting Spread Entire Field, you are ready to save your application event. The second method is to be used if you covered only a portion of the field. In this method, you click on the interactive map where the manure was applied. For this particular example, we applied manure on the south part of the application field. We simply click on the outline of where manure was applied, and when you finish mapping your manure application area, you can see that we covered 54.03 acres and applied 3,701.647 gallons per acre. At this point, if everything is correct, you are ready to save your spreading application data by selecting Save. Once the map is saved, you now have in your field data a Select button that has recorded this spreading event. When you go to select the spreading event that you recorded, you will see that the application area is highlighted. In ManureWorks, the small printer icon refers to a report. For this particular example, we will click on the report for this spreading event. When the report opens, you will see that our maximum application rate is 3,600 gallons to the acre. Our actual application rate was 3,701.65 gallons per acre, and we covered 54.03 acres, and Johnson Custom Ag was the spreader. You will see the date of the spreading event. The manure source was the acclimation building. The manure was incorporated into the field, the incorporation date, what soil conditions were, and if the setbacks were met. ManureWorks records weather data automatically for your fields daily. So when you select a day for your spreading event, ManureWorks retrieves the data so you do not need to keep track of weather information. ManureWorks displays the weather conditions the day of the spreading event, as well as the weather conditions the day before the spreading event and the day after the spreading event. ManureWorks also displays the nutrient amounts applied per acre. This data is gathered from the site pages that contain the manure analysis data. It is important to remember that the manure application data can be entered by the producer's custom spreader, or the producer's consultant. This is a brief example of the manure application software program. There are other options that can be utilized by the producer as well as the custom spreader. This can be covered with you by a ManureWorks representative. If you are interested in subscribing to the ManureWorks software program, please refer to the login page to contact ManureWorks personnel. It is very important before using ManureWorks software program that your internet browser be upgraded to Microsoft Internet Explorer 8 or Google Chrome web browser. This needs to be done in order for the interactive field mapping functions to work properly. You can access these free updates from the ManureWorks website. Thank you, and we look forward to helping you with your manure application record keeping. Manure application record keeping made easy.